Earlier on this year in June, we brought you details of a campaign to raise €20,000 for a North Kerry teenager who sustained serious injuries in the Circuit of Munster rally. 18-year-old Megan Costello from Tarbert was taking part in the rally when the car she was an occupant in crashed. We were speaking to Dennis Dowling from Ballyduff, whose wife is Megan's aunt, who's also taking part in the rally. And he talked at the time about the massive support shown by the people of North Kerry and the rallying community, that it's been extraordinary. With me in studio this morning, I'm delighted to say I have Megan and her father Jason Costello from Tarbert. Good morning to both of you, and thanks for coming to us in the programme this morning. Megan, can I start with you? You're out of hospital, is it 3 weeks tomorrow?
3 weeks tomorrow, yeah.
Okay, tell me what it's been like. Tell me what, I suppose, the time, first of all, from leaving hospital. How has that been like for you, getting back to some sense of normality after your accident?
I suppose I was only egging to get out of hospital by the time that I got it, because I was in there for 8 weeks. So it was hard to be stuck in a hospital bed for 8 weeks. But getting home was brilliant. Like, everyone has been so supportive and everything. Like, and my family are just amazing. Like, my mum is brilliant. She does everything and she helps out brilliantly. But at the same time, like, as the hospital told them, they have to try and give me my own independence as well and let me do stuff for myself. And they've been brilliant, and they've let me try and do as much as I can myself. Okay, how is your recovery going? It's slow, but I'll get there eventually. Like, every week I see a difference in my hands. Or like on Tuesday now I was in Dublin, and like I just seen a tiny bit of my fingers closing in a little bit from the open wound, and it's just like seeing little things like that I haven't seen in a couple of weeks is just really encouraging. Yeah, it gives me hope that there will be a light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, take me back to the day of the accident, if you can. What do you remember of it, or do you remember anything of it, or do you remember waking up some time later? How did that go? Oh no, I do remember it all, really. I think I just closed my eyes for a couple of seconds while we were rolling. But no, I remember the lads pulling us out the car and dragging me through the bog and lying me down somewhere, and then all the rest of the lads coming up and just, like, I suppose trying to calm me down and trying to make sure that I was okay and that, and then the paramedics coming in and they trying to get me up and get me into the ambulance as soon as they could, like, and take me to the hospital and that. I suppose they didn't really know what to do at the same time, because they hadn't seen that kind of an injury or a crash before. Especially the ones that are helping out, like, I mean, for the motorsports, like the rallying and that, the ones that just give their time up just to be there because they're trained in first aid or anything like that, and they hadn't seen an accident like that ever, so it was a bit shocking for them. So what happened was you crashed and the car caught fire, and yourself and Jason, you were caught in the car. They smashed the windscreen, I understand. Was that it, and pulled you out from that point of view? Yeah. Jason, tell me a little bit about that, your recollection of it.
Well, the car just rolled, and it was a normal thing really as such, but the petrol cap just happened to open and petrol went everywhere, and the car just caught fire. But in the midst of it, we only went back 2 weeks ago to look at where the accident happened, right, to put things in perspective in our own heads, like what happened and everything. But inside along the ditch there was rubbish and everything, and sure, once that caught fire there was no, because we couldn't understand how the fire got so intense. Beautiful day and things were so dry and everything, but just when you see things the way things happen, there was so much there, and when it's all put together it's a disaster. And when it happened, Megan ripped her belt, and I was trying to put out the fire, and she fell down on top of me inside the car, so I couldn't get my legs up to kick out the windscreen, and the boys just came in and they broke the windscreen and got us out through the windscreen. So they did, and they brought Megan away from the car then and put her down on the ground, and I was trying to put out the fire kind of everywhere else, trying to make everyone, but I don't know, I must have twisted my ankle anyway or something in the meantime, and I fell down, and that was it. So I was going into panic mode then because of Megan. So it was just a big disaster from her go. And this all happens over a period of seconds. And you think, when you're looking back at it, you're saying, oh, it's minutes and this, but it's all seconds. It's just split seconds is all you have. Like, smoke out. The worst was the smoke off the bog, because when Megan fell down on top of me, I was down at the window. The the car was on its side, so I was down at the driver's window and the smoke was just horrific. So that I got all burnt into the lungs and the throat. So it's hard, even to breathe. It's coming there once Megan is fine. That's the main thing.
Yeah, that was the main thing that was going to. So it was. I suppose the small things that you never think about, rubbish that have been dumped inside the ditch, catching fire where you happen to crash.
Yeah.
What are the chances?
Exactly, and there was a tree there, and the car ended up against the tree. If the tree wasn't there, it went down into the bog. We wouldn't have been near the rubbish. Or
the
only tree within 100 yards of.
Yeah. Do you run things like that over in your head?
Not when the two of us went up to look at where the accident happened, and we walked the road, and we just trying to figure it all out, because as everyone knows, it's something that doesn't happen, and that's the big thing. Because rallying is safe. Fine, there's accidents, but you never hear of someone getting badly hurt.
Sure, yeah.
The big thing, every rally driver, everyone that's involved in sport, it's water and fire. They're the two
dangerous things.
Get away with. Everything else is just a thing,
Yeah.
But you just have no hope with water and fire.
Yeah. And Jason, what were the extent of your injuries, and how have you been recovering from them?
I was burnt in the hand, my leg, and I was burnt in my face and my throat.
From the inhalation?
Yeah.
From it. And how are you now?
I'm doing good. The burns in the face all healed up perfect. The hand is good. The ankle is coming on. Okay, I badly hurt the ankle. But it's coming on, but it's not. Even last week I just twisted it and it was bang again. The physio was giving out to me. Yeah. But the throat, one day is good, the next day is bad. You just have to breathe. Like last week I was very bad with breathing.
Right.
Today and hard at breathing. But that'll all come back in time.
That'll take time.
Yeah.
Okay. And Megan, tell me about your injuries. You got, was it 3rd degree burns in your hands?
Yeah. It was just, I suppose, a couple of hours off of having nerve damage, but they took me straight into emergency surgery on the Sunday night, and they actually slit my hands just to get the blood flowing, to make sure that there was blood flow, and that to make sure that my nerves were okay.
And that was the big worry at the time. You needed instant surgery to save the nerves in your hands.
The nerves would have went otherwise. And thank God it was only burnt as far as there, because if it was anything else, it could have went as far as the nerves or the bone. And so they took me in on the surgery, and then they did skin grafting on the Tuesday.
Okay. And was that, obviously it was being explained to you as you went along, this is what's happened. What were your fears at the time? Were you like, will I ever be able to use my hands again? How will they look? Was all that going through your mind?
On the Tuesday morning, I think that was the scariest that the doctor ever said to me, because I wouldn't be good with blood or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I hate talking about the hospital or doctors or anything like that. And next of all, he was there and he was explaining the whole surgery and everything that could go wrong. And I was there is there anything that can go right? And he was just really frightening me. He was saying I might never again be able to use my hands, and I might never again have nails, or some of my fingers could be shorter, and all this kind of stuff. And I was there oh my God, I'm never going to be normal again.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I came out of surgery the next day, he came in, he was everything went perfect. He's you will be fine. So I suppose, thank God.
That must have been an incredible relief. I suppose it's part of the job to have to outline, look, this is what can happen, or this is what...
Well, that's what he explained to me as well. And then the next day when he came in, he was I had to frighten you. He was I had to tell you everything that could go wrong. But then now I'm telling you everything went right and you will be fine.
Okay.
He was very good.
Okay, so tell me about your daily routine with it. What do you have to do now with your hands? The bandages have to be changed regularly, or where does that work?
At the moment, the bandages are being changed twice a week, and maybe a third time if I'm going to Dublin. And then I have to do physio at least 2 or 3 times a day, like my brother does, stretching out my fingers and all that. And then massage as well. So I have to massage all the skin just to stretch it and make sure that everything is
working
good.
As it should be, and healing as it should be.
Yeah.
Is it tiring?
Yeah, it does kind of wear you out a little bit. They explained that to me in the hospital, that if I was overworking myself a little bit, that they'd be there, the physio and the stretching out the skin and stuff, that takes a lot out of your body because you're healing. And
a lot of energy goes into that.
Yeah, a lot of energy goes into that. So doing extra stuff on top of that doesn't help.
Yeah. And do you then, from that point of view, what's it been like trying to get back into your life? You've had plans and you're doing things in your life for 18 years of age. You've had 8 weeks in hospitals now, 3 weeks just at the start of your recovery. I imagine it'll be a long road still from here.
It will, yeah. They said about a year and a half I have to wear gloves for, and probably do physio and all that for the year anyway, at least. And then after that, it just kind of depends on my own healing and that. But hopefully by the time that it comes to that, I will be healed up pretty good and be able to do a lot more.
Yeah, okay. Jason, listening to the story and listening to your story, you think like it's desperate bad luck and it's a terrible thing to happen to anybody, but is part of you saying that thinking that you are lucky, that it could have been worse?
Oh, it could have been way worse. 2 or 3 seconds more and it could have been all over. And that's just the nature of it. But we just look at the positives. We try and we spent two weeks in the negatives, so we had to get on with it, and you just wake up and say, right, okay, we're together, we're still a family. Like the first week was crazy. Like when I came out of a coma, all I wanted to know was where was I? Like the plan. Well, the plan. The wrong word. It's not the plan. When we were in A&E in Limerick, we didn't know where we were going to end up. So all I knew was I was panicking and they were going mental over me because I was freaking out over her. I just wanted Megan sorted.
They were trying to get you calm.
Yeah, and eventually they just decided to put me into a coma in case I go into cardiac arrest. And then when I came out of a coma on Monday, my niece was down by the side of the bed and I just tipped her on the shoulder and I looked for a piece of paper because I couldn't talk. And she gave me a piece of paper and I just wrote down, where am I? Do you know, I just want to know, was I in Dublin with Megan or was I in Cork or where
you were?
And the next couple of days was torture trying to, my wife rang me because she was in Dublin with Megan and she said that she was out of a coma but she was going for the operation. But you couldn't talk, so I was only hearing her saying it, that was
very frustrating.
Yeah, the first week was very bad, and every time I go to sleep then after coming out of a coma, my heart just stopped, and I had the nurses in red alert below in the hospital because I just emotionally I was whacked out.
A wreck.
Yeah, just
and the physical thing on top of that then, like.
And then I got out. They done the checks to see, they were on about sending me to Dublin to get skin graft in the finger and the throat, and then when it was healing so good, they said that they'd leave it heal itself because getting the skin graft in the throat would be horrific.
Traumatic enough, yeah.
We'll just leave it the way it is and let it heal, it will heal. So when they finally gave me the all clear on Thursday that they weren't going to, all I said, I want to get out here, I want to go to Dublin. So in fairness, they released me that Thursday night. So they didn't. I went to Dublin Friday morning first thing to see her, Megan. And once we met and once we talked and once we had our own little bit of a chat, things kind of reality started to come back into life then. Do you know, we all knew we had a long road, but we had a good road, do you know?
Yeah, you could have been a much worse road.
Do you know, and that's what we kind of were taking from it. And with the support everyone has given, it's amazing. The help from friends and family and the rally community, it's crazy. It's just, we're overwhelmed with the help we're getting. And without them, we wouldn't get through it.
Yeah. What's that been like, Megan? That level of support?
Amazing. Yeah, honestly, just like you don't think about these things until it happens, and then when people do come together and when they give you so much support and are so good, like the amount of phone calls and text messages that we got from like even people that I wouldn't think would text you, like, is amazing. And there's just everyone wanting to help out and trying to give as much as they can to us is just amazing. Like even just the littlest of things help so much, like a phone call or like a text message is just, it helps, it really does. And it really did those first couple of weeks. Everyone that kind of contacted us and tried to kind of talk to us and make sure that we were okay, they were brilliant.
Yeah, €36,000 raised. People, I suppose, people who vaguely even knew, I suppose, getting involved in helping out.
Yeah, they did. It was amazing.
Like there's navigators from around the world that have contacted Megan and rang Megan to tell her that she will be good, and like people that she wouldn't even know.
No, they would have heard the story.
You know, they just heard it over social media and they got her number and they rang her and to give her encouragement while she was in hospital. You know, just to keep your head up, you will get through it and everything. It's unreal. It's all over the world, like.
Yeah,
Do you know? And it's
incredible.
Yeah.
You love rallying.
Yeah.
Tell me what got you into it, Megan? Did you love rallying with Jason?
Yeah, well, I suppose from a very young age I was kind of brought up in the garage and around the cars and stuff, so I would have always been around and watching Dad rally and that. So I suppose once I got to the age of 16, I think my 16th birthday, I wanted to go for a rally sprint, and I went in the car with Dad, but I don't think that was fast enough. So I was telling him that no, that wasn't good enough. I wanted to actually do a rally. So once I got to 17, then he eventually let me sit into the car. I convinced him, and that was last November I did my first rally.
Right, and you love it?
Yeah, absolutely love it.
Has this changed your view of it, or your perception of it? Would you like to get back into a rally car in the future?
Yeah, I'd love to get
She
it.
has
I have
been-
already got back into one.
Really?
I got left out of hospital for my second weekend out, so that was 6 weeks after the accident. And one of the lads above in Gowran Park, the Festival of Speed, he said he'd carry me in the car with him, and I went off for a spin around the track with him. And then the weekend after, I was in another rally in Imachilly, and the number one car on the road took me over the ramp with him. So it's great to get back in the cars as well.
Yeah, and what do you say to people who would say, God, you're right, you want to get right back into it after what happened? Does it give you pause for thought? Or some people would say it would put you off it for life?
No, it doesn't put me off it at all. Like, yeah, I suppose I do want to get back into the car. Like, I suppose the first time that I will get back in and properly do it, it will be nerve-wracking at the start line, but I presume as soon as we get off that start line to be grind again,
Yeah.
all the nerves will go.
Jason, how are your feelings about rallying now?
My feelings well, the first week they were never again doing it. That don't belong wearing off. Like, my life is rallying.
It's a way of life.
You know, my dad rallied, so I was brought up with rallying, so it's just our life. Like, if we go away for a weekend, it's to rally. You know, like, our friends are all rally friends. We meet them at rallies. That's our life. And like, every weekend, like, when I'm going to a rally, even if I'm going down helping one of the lads, and my tour in the van with me, like, you know, come on, we're going too. You know, it's just a way of life, and I don't think you can change your life.
And did you kind of get a new understanding of the level of community that's there in the rally world with what happened?
I knew it was always good. There was always a massive community there, but I didn't realise that when something like this happens, how good it does come together. You know?
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. Megan, you were in college. That's on hold now. You'll hope, obviously, to get back to that at some stage.
Yeah, hopefully, anyway.
How long do you know yet, or again, is it a question of wait and see?
It's a question of wait and see, even though I did want to start back this September coming, and even when I was in the hospital I was telling them, like, I'm going back to college in September, but now I'm kind of thinking, will I be able for it? So I don't know, I'll have to talk to the college and talk to my doctors.
Sure, and you don't want to jeopardise your recovery by going back too early and
exactly.
And all of that.
That's the main thing anyway.
That's part of it. Okay, well look, Jason, the future obviously is continued recovery. For you obviously want to thank everyone for everything they've done.
Yeah, everyone. It's been amazing, the support. Like, it's just, I keep saying it, we're overwhelmed with the support from family, friends, neighbours, everything. It's just been fantastic. You know, and the rally community, as we keep saying, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Megan, you wanted to talk about the medical staff as well.
Yeah, they're just amazing. Like, from the minute that I was brought into the hospital, they couldn't do too little for you. They were constantly wanting to help and make sure that you were okay and everything, checking and everything. From doctors, surgeons, nurses, physios, occupational therapists, everything. Everyone is just amazing above in St. James's, and even down here, like, I've got my occupational therapist here in Chile as well, and she's amazing. So yeah, they're all brilliant. Like, it's
all part of stuff that you never thought you'd need, but when it's there, it's vital.
Yeah, and like that, the surgeons are amazing up in St. James's. Like, I mean, what they did, it's just, you can't even get your head around, like, the fact that they could do that good of work, skin grafting and everything. Like, they're brilliant.
Yeah, and stuff that saved your hands, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. Well, look, I want to thank both of you for coming into us this morning. I know it's not easy, and not an easy thing to talk about, but I know you felt it important to thank people and to come in and tell your story. And look, many happy years of rallying ahead, is what I'll say, to both of you. And obviously wish you the very best with all the recovery as well. So thanks for telling us your story this morning.
Thanks very much.